Hello and welcome to the BFS_PhD show for Thursday Night Football on October 19th. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money and $1 million again. I love it. It's almost basketball season. I know it's almost over, but as long as it's here, that's a lot of money and it's life-changing. And congrats to people who are winning it. Again, to Eric, I talked about it in the baseball video if you watched it earlier today, but um, he got second in the 222 on Monday night, which is gonna make it not matter too much that he didn't. That probably leading the 150ers with 63 didn't quite pay out. But let's give him his props there. I was like, oh, I don't know, let me just talk about these top five people and rounded it out, talking about Awesemo, I think, completely skipping over his achievements. So, this was a really nice set of lineups, a solid, and he said, this is so useful to me. Somebody on the top 10 telling me how they did it. I really appreciate that. I still figure it out. Yeah, like what are we even doing here? I don't know, but I do know I really like to know that you're using a blend of geometric mean and salary restriction. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, what we can do with that. But thanks again. It really, I like you guys coming and watching the show. I can't believe we're now up to over 100 subscribers. So let's get up to 10 likes on every video, guys. Come on, let's do that. And make sure you're subscribed so you get the blast without me having to reach whichever Discord or Twitter or whatever you're on that I'm distributing this to as well. Oh yeah, I'm watching something called Shark Chat because a lot of you guys are 150 maxers who have done this, slash people I generally recognize as sharks. I can't believe how many of you watch this. But I added to the Discord a private channel where you have to have 1000x ROI lineup. You have to show me either I know you've done it or you share a screenshot if you're someone I don't recognize. But yeah, I just think it's a fun idea. I'm sure you all have your private Discords, but come to a neutral type place. Speaking of what am I doing out here? Like, what's my plan? I don't know. I read a Roy Wood article, so I want to cite that before we get on into it. I'm thankful. I think this is really fun. I like talking about sports, and now this is a place for me to show that I can do the thing. And once people know that I can do the thing, there are many channels. So I don't know what I'll do eventually, but yeah, I like talking about this a lot, and it's what I was doing already. Like, I was telling, I was doing this hit by hit with the sports projection thing every night to myself for game one, game two, etc. Obviously, I don't think I would have been able to keep it together enough to narrate that. But yeah, it's much easier to narrate losing because it's fun, and you've got people doing the id part of that already. But I want to get into the how do we learn, how do we grow from our experiences. And I think we have to recognize, so this is an MMA thing, obviously I should redo this eventually with Showdown football, but I think it's pretty similar. When you look at duplicates over expectation and you look at the salary range, you can do a hard cap, but hard cap really only needs to eliminate like where your geometric mean filtering is completely useless, which is where it's missing by 50%. Whenever you're missing by an order of magnitude, it just can't be in the pool for me. So the top 200 just can't be in the pool. You can't use all your salary and you can't use 100 less. But this guy's won $380,000 last night, leaving only $400 on the table. So ignore that at your peril. That was quite a lesson for me. Like, I didn't think you could be that unique right there, but you can be, and you must be there. So I'm changing. Thank you again for your note. And I will be going back to using a combination because when I won with Haywood Highsmith, get him in the shot, we'll do a formal ceremony next week when we have the game one and Miami does their ceremony. I'll do my own little ceremony with Haywood Highsmith. But that lineup was only geometric mean filtering at hard cap of like 700, 600. That's where I have had my most success, and there's a reason. So there's another one of these charts that we are forgetting. I love Sports Proj, by the way. Follow this guy, sports_proj. He's making incredible charts, and he's got the underlying thing I use to make the top 20 lists and drill down into people's ownership. And you can use it too for only like $5 a month. It's a nice tool, and I like doing that. But the likelihood of being the highest scoring lineup by total salary used, I've always kind of been estimating it as about the same, right? And that is true, and I don't know, this was an MMA slate, yeah. So you can do these calculations for any given slate on the same, another Hopkins touchdown, the Sims, but on you can do this for any slate and it's going to be about the same. So you're going to have about level probability for the first 1,500, which is very meaningful, right? We just saw on this last screen that when you leave that much salary on the table, you're getting very unique really quickly because all the fish are jamming salary. So there is this, you see, it's not I thought this was like in my mind pretty like this and then falling off maybe exponentially, but it's not even falling off, right? There's like a little hump here around 48,500, it looks like, in a couple of these different bins. So it's not out of the range of possibilities. First of all, these are, you can't ignore these ones, right? 49,500. These are some of the highest here, and it is roughly flat in the region from 48,500 to 49,500. But your per lineup expectations, well, it's interesting to me, they vary off, they kind of fall off not exponentially, right? That's what I was always thinking, is they fall off exponentially, but they're falling off linearly here. So I don't know what to do with that. That means I should leave a wide salary range all the way up to almost the top with geometric mean filtering, I guess. But I mean, also you can draw a minimum probability, right? Like you want to exclude less than 1% events because you feel like they're too lucky, and that's about 46,000. That's where we've been putting the bottom of the optimal range, so that makes sense. But is it optimal anymore? We've fallen down an order or two of magnitude for likelihood, you know, just implied by underdog status, etc. For MMA. Maybe it's easier for MMA than it is for football. But with football, you have touchdowns, right? So like, weird guy score a touchdown or not is the equivalent of underdog winning in MMA. I think there is an equivalent, and I think you can use this kind of basically this kind of estimate to constrain your lineups, and I have done it here for this week. So we are now on to Thursday Night Football. Thank you for listening to 10-15 minutes of weird rambling lecture stuff. If you have, if not, hey, you're not here anymore. So thank you guys again. Really appreciate your support. Okay, so the weird things that I have done. Jimmy Graham, too many people are on him, 7.7%. He's just not out there enough, and he's old. He could catch a touchdown and kill me, but if he does, he's completely out of the player pool. I don't know if Hasty or Lynn Bowden even sees the field at all, much less touches the ball. So Ernest Johnson's okay, fine, just overpriced for his role. Then we get to the range of okay value. For me, the okay value, probably the least okay of the okay value, almost unclickable at 19%. Jeez, I just saw that. 19% is gross. What are y'all doing? Jamal Agnew almost completely squeezed out of the game plan last week, and we got him at 19% owned this week. I can't even have a bite of that. That's gross. There's just so many other options of people who are actually on the field around him, right, at the same price. Luke Farrell, okay, just take a guess right now. What percentage do you think Luke Farrell sees snap-wise? I'll give you a hint. It's a lot. So go to Luke Farrell. 40% of snaps. He's out there 30 snaps a game. Yeah, he might not catch a pass, but if he does, he's going to be optimal almost immediately, and he's going to be out there to catch them, and he's definitely going to be out there to catch them in the red zone. How many times do you guys see this? Every week. Every week, the tight end 2 or 3 or whatever in the red zone, peeling out, walking in there because he's up against a freaking little linebacker guy who's a chud, who's trying to go past him as a blocker, right? That's the reason they're in this matchup, but he breaks out on the side. And now he's a little bit faster out in the flat, and it's the grossest throw you've ever seen, but it is a big guy catching a touchdown. And that big guy last week, Brenton Strange, right? He finally did it the week I'm not able to play him for $1 million or whatever. But it could have been Luke Farrell. It could be Kirkwood. Last night it was Everett. I was telling you guys, play Everett. Do not play Parham. Now, granted, oh my God, the coaches love Parham, dude. Now, granted, he's great. He should be their tight end 1. They should just sell Everett or whatever, but he's not. And he gets so many targets in the red zone and the end zone. He's huge. He's great. He's not great. It's just that what a terrible play to just. I hate it when the game plan is like clearly targeting a play that you think is terrible, because then it's not a bad play. If you knew the coach was going to jam him in every single red zone target, I would have played him a little bit more. But I still think that's overestimating for him. That's why, I mean, Jimmy Graham already has the touchdown this year, so presumably that's baked into his average. The only other significant disagreement I had with the projections at this point, now granted, if Chris Olave's out, or Carr, or Lawrence, now some of these are reasonably questionable. So in a couple of days, if they seem questionable, this turns the slate on its head. Turn this video off, go find another video with the right thing for actual Thursday with these guys out. But if these guys are in, I mean, it's not that hard to figure out what to do. You jam the backup quarterbacks. But assuming they're in, and I mean, like, if Olave's out, maybe you get to some more crazy guys. I already have buffed Shaheed wildly. That's the only other thing I did. I think Shaheed was underestimated. So Shaheed's out there a lot, and he's very fast. So, oh, is it going to freeze? Yeah. Shaheed is out there 43 snaps a game, 60% of snaps. He is out there a lot and has explosive upside. I don't understand why we were projecting him for 7.8, 7.7. I guess playing from ahead, he doesn't catch any passes because they don't throw the ball. Best I got for you. Evan Ingram, over projected. I don't quite get that either. He's fine. He just doesn't have the same opportunity in that offense. Like when you go there and you look at Evan Ingram is out there, 76% of snaps, 54 snaps a game. We're at PPR, right? Yes, we've got PPR here. So we're at about 10. 54 snaps a game, 20 points per 100 snaps. I don't think he deserves any regression at this point. He's about where he deserves to be. Okay. So I've said the weird things I've done. Now, the weird captain choices that I am allowing, which you probably shouldn't do most of this. This is all, you want to win $1 million, you do this. You want to win lots of thousands of dollars, you do something else. So the win $1 million picks are Rashid Shaheed, Travis Etienne. Wait, no, Etienne's or wildly overweight Etienne. I don't know if I'm going to stay at 30% captain. Etienne. I guess yeah, that's about right. Like the game script where they win and ram it down New Orleans' throats, 30%. Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm not going to poke holes in that. That's about right. Good job, SaberSim, making me think here. So Rashid Shaheed is what I thought it was going to put at the top of the list for leverage. Tim Jones is another guy who is out there a lot. He's out there 25% of snaps. If they're playing from behind, he's going to be out there more than 25% of snaps. He's going to be out there for the entire 2-minute drill. The guy you need out there every single play. That's what I like. So I will probably wind up, you can hear me being more positive. I think he's a big value. I don't understand how he's 0.2% of, in captain. Okay, there's only like 5 lineups I've even allowed, right? Like with him in captain, how many lineups can I make that are between 47,000? I haven't made that low enough, right? We just decided, 47,500. Where is that on this graph? 47,500 is about here. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. That's where we kind of leap up another half percent of probability. So, okay, 47.5 to 49.6 for now is what I'll leave my 150s at. I might even, seeing the shape of this, where does it start being almost even? At about 48,003. So if you wanted to have if you wanted to key in on this one random data set, okay, really for optimal, probably more like 48,000. Now, granted, optimal is not going to include as much uniqueness. That's what I'm doing here, just so you understand the trade-off. You already knew, you've watched the show a zillion times. But for optimal ROIs now, because of a combination of graphs that I've been looking at here today, I'm going to, and nice feedback from users. I really like that, guys. Please, if you have a great night and you want to share your cool setup you had for it, or if I overlook you on our awesome top 10 list and you're like, hey, dude, I had cool lineups tonight. Yeah, that was cool, man. I missed that. But yeah, call me out. I would love to. Like somebody asked yesterday, I also had somebody was asking, is it the same across different salary or entry fees? So you can look at the top 20 for different entry fees. Yes, it's very similar. You've got a different guy who's trying to do the weird Anguilla or contrarian thing, and then a bunch of people trying to do the same kind of profit maximization thing. I do think it's interesting across different salary levels, the number of people who are entering these high ROI lineups with a number of dupes. It's almost like you're building 2 tranches, right? Although, wow, yeah, that guy, our writer here who wrote in did have quite a set, 98 out of 100 under 5 dupes. That's quite impressive. So if you wanted to be really smart about it, the way that you would build your analyzer of, what's it called? Oh, you don't even have the screen up anymore. Of uniques is you would fit the middle of this expected salary expectation, right? And so you would have it be an overestimate where it's an overestimate and an underestimate where it's an underestimate. That's a lot of work for not that much meat. So I was trying to figure out how you got that good. That's a really nice set of lineups. But okay, other weird stuff in the captain. Oh yeah, let me just say it by the number of them I have, not by leverage. You're obviously playing Trevor Lawrence. You're obviously playing. Oh yeah, I didn't include Carr and captain. I did include the quarterback captain. I can admit, after not having it in the player pool for 2 reasons, only one of which was salary restriction. If you watched the show last time, the 2 people I did not include at the captain spot were the quarterbacks. And I have been questioned about why I do that on the show before. And my answer is, well, I get pretty unlikely, right? No, it's not pretty unlikely. It's like, I don't know, 12, 15% likely that the quarterback be the optimal captain. It's easy to get there to be a millionaire as well. It's not like it's holding you back from uniqueness even. It was dumb. And I mean, honestly, as soon as Dak Prescott goes for that first 20-yard rushing touchdown, I knew I was cooked, right? I mean, like, when something happens like that in the game and you remember, oh yeah, that extremely popular captain I have none of, you can probably just focus on the tweets, which is fun. I mean, like, it's important to still have fun. It's important if you're not having fun, you're betting too much. Like, make sure, 1-800-GAMBLER, if you're having a problem, this needs to be with fun money only. Like, because if it's not fun money, you're not making fun plays. You're not playing so much Haywood. That's like the example I always fall back on. You're not playing $300 Haywood Highsmith Mike DNP, $300 worth of lineups in the captain unless it's fun freaking money, man. So you got to have your. It's not like 1-800-GAMBLER whatever for out of, I don't know. It is in your genuine self-interest for your health, but I also mean it for just you're doing well on this slate, man. You're not going to do well on the slate if it means too much to you. So make sure that it is all fun money that you're playing. Yeah. So with that impromptu PSA, we will. I don't think I have any comments on the leverage on the flex position. Being overweight on Michael Thomas is fine. He's out there. I think eventually people are going to cycle an older cornerback onto him because he's kind of had a bad season. And I mean also because Olave is good. So, and Shaheed's good. And so eventually you're going to have to put the fast guys on the other guys. And then Michael Thomas can be able to kind of fill a Deontay Johnson type role where he catches like 20 passes for 30 yards or something. I don't know. But 30%, eesh. Okay. 30% is a lot of Michael Thomas for the actual background ownership. I don't like that. I don't want to be overweight 30% Michael Thomas in a situation where he's clearly aging and no longer the RB1. Never the RB1, the wide receiver one. See, that's the beauty of never having an editor is I never have to remember how much I'm messing up every episode. Just kind of next episode. But also, yeah, speaking of, I told you all these plays. All this is what I mean when I say it's garbage in, garbage out, right? Like if you want to see what SaberSim says, don't make any changes. If you want, I mean, and then that's fine. That's probably why you pay SaberSim. That's why I pay SaberSim. But I noticed that doesn't get you unique enough. That gets you to those lineups that have 500 dupes and whatnot. And even when you're on a cool lineup, it's going to be overduped to its expectation because of the number of people who use the exact software. It's only when you make these custom tweaks. That's why I stress them in the video, even though more important things are obviously out there. You have to have a background artifice to take advantage of your leans. But you need to be listening to your gut every slate and making some weird choices that I'm not making. Like, right? Like, that's what makes them weird choices. Like, one of these weird things I did probably sounded bad to you. Don't do that one. One of them probably sounded like I'm onto something, but maybe you wanted to go more in that direction. Do that. Like you should be doing a similar process, not the same process. Okay. Cool. I think that's all of the lecturing this weird lecture has turned into. But they are giving away $1 million on Thursday, and that's a lot of money. Let's have some fun with it, and let's have fun money for days. Let's have fun money for many more videos. Hey, let's chop it a few ways, right? We're allowing a few chops now. We're saying, hey, it wouldn't be so bad if we all won $100,000, 16 of us. No, I'm not giving away lineups like that. It's not that kind of show. I don't like that. But I don't mind chopping with you. If we get there with a combination of salary restriction, clever captains and stuff, let's see you at the top, guys. You're good enough. You're strong enough. And gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money, and it might be one or more of us.